It's Absolutely Auburn, a place where we'll talk about all things Auburn, Maine, because we're in the middle of it all. The City of Auburn's communications team is dedicated to helping you connect with city government and learn everything you need to know about Auburn, our city, our people, our events, and our community. Welcome to Absolutely Auburn.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Absolutely Auburn. We are celebrating 20 episodes. Woohoo! And on this episode, we will have our new Assistant City Manager, Denis D'Auteuil, joining us. Denis has been here and he's served in that role before. So tune in and listen and hear what he's excited about coming up in this 20th episode. Welcome back to Absolutely Auburn. I'm your host, Jenn Bonig, and our amazing producer, Abby Bourne, is here.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Abby. And joining us today in the studio, we have the city's new Assistant City Manager, Denis D'Auteuil. Welcome, Denis.
Thank you for having me.
And before we dive into the conversation, I have to do a little brag here about the podcast because we realized as we were pulling this episode together, this is our 20th episode of Absolutely Auburn.
Woo!
And we started it almost a year ago, July 20th of last year. So not quite, well, a little bit over a year ago to date of this recording. So we just want to say thank you to everyone, all the listeners, our guests over the last 20 episodes. We have learned, well, I certainly have learned a lot, and God knows I love to talk. So this works out perfectly for me. So thank you, everyone, for getting us to our 20th episode. And now I'll jump in. Denis, now you're going to be in the hot seat.
I'm ready.
So you grew up in the area, raising your family here, and you started your career in public service here with the City of Auburn back in 2010. So what are some of the roles that you've held here at the city before returning as Assistant City Manager?
You got
right?
it. You got it. I back in 2010, I was given the opportunity to be the Public Works Director here in Auburn. Did that for close to 5 years, just about 5 years. And then in 2015, I found my first time in the Assistant City Manager seat and was there till just about 2.5 years through 2017. So, and now I'm back into it again. So
You're back home.
Back home.
So you've served as Assistant City Manager here in Auburn, mm-hmm. and you've also been the Deputy City Administrator and then the City Administrator in Lewiston, which I guess, how are those roles similar? How are they different? Because I know there is a difference, not just in the title, but.
Correct. Yeah, there is a lot of similarities. I think that, city managers or the position of Assistant City Manager and Deputy City Administrator, there's a lot of tasks on a day-to-day basis that are very similar. You go about your business, you're serving the community, and that I think the major difference, even though there may just be a river between our two communities that divide us, there's just different challenges and opportunities on both sides of the river. So I think in Lewiston, the day-to-day work and the role that I played was very similar to the Assistant City Manager role over here in terms of the types of things you got to work through on a day-to-day basis and projects. And the opportunities are just maybe a little different as well on each side of the river and each community. And I think that's just not necessarily Lewiston, Auburn. It's any city, community, mm-hmm. town. They all have different challenges and different opportunities, but the role can be, I think, most part pretty similar in the types of things that you'll see and deal with.
So what does that typical workday look like for you?
Typical workday is, I guess, no 2 days are the same is probably the simplest way to put it. A typical day for me can start with a number of conversations. If I don't have meetings already on the schedule, which we do have a lot of meetings to move projects and deal with, a variety of issues and challenges. But, a lot of times it's starting with the day with following up on the previous days, maybe with a director or staff member that's been dealing with an issue or moving a project along. And Sometimes they're challenged from an assistant city manager role. A lot of times there may be a project that they're trying to move forward, maybe a hurdle or a barrier has come up, and it's they need some help or guidance to navigate that issue and continue moving a project or to resolve maybe an issue that a resident has brought forward, and we need to give some guidance. Sometimes I'm able to step into those roles and deal with it, or it's just a matter of helping the resident, point them in the right direction to the appropriate staff person that can help them and take care of their issue. So then it's throughout the day it's then you roll into council meetings into the evening, or maybe it's later in the week and you're going to a committee and dealing with a particular issue or working through that and engaging the residents that way. So every day is different, but it's really rewarding.
That's kind of that's what we hear from most people, isn't it, Abby? There is no typical day.
Yeah, I'm like, how are we writing job descriptions then? Right?
That's the other duties.
Pretty common in city government, right. I think.
We cover the job description with the other duties as assigned.
Exactly.
Gotta love that catchphrase.
That's right.
So what's the most interesting part of your job?
I got to say that it's the variety. It's the ability that you come in one day or you start your day maybe dealing with something as simple as a report of my trash wasn't collected, and we're working through resolving that issue for that resident, or I make sure I get that over to our public works department. And then you can round out your day with maybe talking to a new developer that's pitching a really exciting new project that's coming to the city. So the range of what you deal with and just how that, I think that's just every day is different. And you come in and it's you get to engage with a lot of different people, and you get to meet a lot of great people here in the community that are maybe engaged for a particular problem or issue they're trying to resolve. And it's just a lot of fun and hard work, but good variety of issues that keep you moving all day long. There's no doubt.
Got to keep you on your toes.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. City Hall. So over our 20 episodes, there's a lot of stuff going on here. I think there's a lot more going on here than a lot of people realize, especially as you dive into some of the different departments, and we've learned about so many different programs and opportunities that are here. So what do you think are some of Auburn's best qualities? What are those strengths that you see here in Auburn, especially being from this area?
Yeah, there's Auburn, a couple of strengths. There's a lot actually of strengths. But I think the people of Auburn, as I mentioned before, being able to engage with them, you get a real sense of pride in their community, no matter what the issue is, or maybe what the project is that you're discussing with them. It could be a road project. It could be a new public safety building, whatever it is, getting that opportunity, I think, to engage with them. And you really see that that's probably one of Auburn's biggest qualities is our people, right? And there's no doubt about that. But beyond that, I think the city itself, looking at the city and the amenities we have as a city, and then the natural resource amenities we have a river, 2 lakes, multiple trails. And when you have all that to offer, I just think it's unique, I think, for a city to have all of those qualities all kind of in one within your city limits, to have those opportunities to start your day with maybe a hike, with your dog out on a trail, and then maybe come into the city and have a nice meal, and then even round it out with one of our ongoing events that we have in the community. And I think that's one of the qualities we have, no doubt, that we have a lot of things happening, a lot of events, weekly. It feels like you can hear live music, or you can come to one of our, signature events throughout the year, and just to have all that in our city at your fingertips, right outside your door. Pretty amazing.
Yes. Yeah. We hear that from a lot of people too, because we have a little bit of everything, right?
We do.
You can get to those kind of more country, rural pockets of Auburn, but yet we still have that downtown city feel too. Especially when you come check out our signature events, which I hope you all do at some point.
I have a question, Dennis. Sorry, this wasn't on the prepared ones that we sent you, but
Understood.
It's not. I don't think it'll be too hard. But is there anything? And if there's nothing, that's totally fine. But you were the assistant city manager before, and then you went to other positions, and now you've come back to it. Is there anything that you feel like is different this time around, or things that have changed in Auburn since you were last the assistant city manager that you find notable? I mean,
yeah, that's a great question. I think, yes, there's definitely the team, for one, is different, right? Mm-hmm. We have a lot of new faces from when I was here before. The one thing I will say to that is I was blessed before. I feel like I've always been blessed with really great people that I work with. And just, I think that although the faces may be different or the people may be different that I'm working with, that same level of commitment and just the great team that we have is still there. So there's some things that are a little different in terms of that. But and then I think overall, just the biggest difference, I think, is the city has grown so much. And these events weren't there, when I was here before. We had some, but these signature events have just come so far. Mm-hmm. The improvement around our infrastructure and just what we've grown as a city in terms of our facilities. Looking at new public safety building coming online, a PAL building. There's a lot of exciting things happening. Not to say that there wasn't the first time, but it is different from that perspective. I feel like there's a different momentum, a stronger momentum, positive momentum here in the city of Auburn. Again, it was great before, but you feel that energy. It feels like it's there this time. So it's really nice. It's a really, really good time to come in.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you like about public service? I guess what drew you or called you to that type of work? Because we don't always get people who are
I say public service people either love it or they don't want to do it.
It's like, I think it's kind of you're one or the other. It's either great or it's that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
So I guess why? What's your why?
Well, I've probably been in service type positions my entire life, from military service to even in the private sector after the military. I was in the service industry. I think I've been drawn. I think it's a calling for people to do public service. You have to, like you said, you really have to have an interest in engaging with your community, with people. Everything we do is about people. So I really think that's what I love most about it, is that you're not sitting behind a desk and just maybe punching data into a computer screen. You get to engage with people on real issues, and you really, what I think is the most rewarding is you get to see the impact play out on a daily basis about your work. And it, again, maybe it's solving a really small problem for a resident. You've maybe made their day for that day and helped them. It's a small impact all the way up to major projects and, expanding on, like, again, our amenities and the services we provide, and being able to work towards making Auburn really great and just continuing to see that. And you get to see that impact on a daily basis. And it's a very rewarding aspect of our jobs.
So usually we're always looking for people to join Team Auburn in a variety of different roles, whether it's at Public Works, it could be police, it could be fire, it could be here in City Hall and in a variety of different offices, whether it's planning and permitting, the tax office, city clerk's office, you name it. There's a lot of different departments. If someone is considering a career in public service, is there any advice, or if they came and asked you and said, hey, I'm considering doing this, what do you think? What would you tell them?
Well, first thing I would say is great for you to reach out and ask that, because that's what I would say. If you're considering it, consider it harder and reach out and ask some questions. There's such a variety, as you said. It doesn't. There's so many different ways you can get involved in public service or serve your community, and it, from full-time work to the elected official angle, or just volunteer boards. There's many ways you can serve your community. But I think if you're looking for a professional career, reach out, explore those opportunities, explore the different avenues as you just mentioned. And I know Team Auburn, anyone on Team Auburn, if they received a call from someone saying that they wanted that interest and maybe wanted to learn a little bit more about that particular career field within public service, I know the response would be positive and really be encouraging. And I'd love to share that. And I would just simply say, again, if you're considering it, consider it harder and really take those steps, because I don't know that you'll find a more rewarding job in what you're doing.
Excellent. So now a question that we ask all of our guests. What is your favorite thing about Auburn? And it doesn't have to be work related.
My favorite thing is kind of going back to what I said before. I just love the variety of what you can do right within the city limits, so close to home. You're right here. You can go for that take in nature, go for a walk, go through a hike in our many trails throughout the city. Go take a walk along the river walk. There's so many things that you can do here. And I just think that it's really unique from that standpoint of having all of that there. And that's just what I love about it. I mean, I can pick up my family, tell my kids, let's pack up the car, grab the dogs, and we could be within minutes on a very quiet trail, and you forget you're in a city. And then wrap that up with a great breakfast, one of our stops or places around here and restaurants. And I just don't think you have that everywhere, and that's just really what we love it. We do it all the time, and it's something that we don't have to drive all this way. We can find everything that we're kind of looking for right here, and that's awesome.
So in this new old returning role as assistant city manager, is there one thing that you're looking forward to this time around? Probably kind of in the same vein as what Abby was asking you is, and I know you mentioned we've got some awesome projects that are going to be coming online. Mm-hmm. But is there kind of one thing in particular that you're really looking forward to either digging into or working on or?
Yeah, I think it's the overall the getting involved with all of these projects. There's so many of them that are happening, and a really exciting time for us, honestly, with the public safety building, the PAL building. We're looking at, I think, overall the number of investment areas that I think the city has been able to make. And I just getting engaged and really haven't had an opportunity to be involved in a lot of those projects, being in my previous position. So being able to come in and dive in and learn those and understand where I can help make an impact in getting that done. That's just really what's the most exciting for me right now. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, thanks for joining us, taking a little time out of your busy day. We made sure we got you in here quick before your calendar filled up.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Just in case, because I know you're going to get busier and busier as time goes on. So welcome to your new role.
Welcome back.
Well, yeah,
welcome back. Yeah. Welcome back, even though you've still already been here.
Yeah.
Welcome back again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me. This is great, and I'm honored to be a part of the 20th episode.
Yeah, perfect one. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for joining us on Absolutely Auburn. You can find all things Auburn, Maine at auburnmaine.gov and goauburn.me. You can also listen to us anytime, anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, just to name a few. The City of Auburn's communications team wants to remind you that Absolutely Auburn is the only official podcast for the City of Auburn, Maine.